for my mama. Where would I be, Lord? Where would I be? Where would I be without my mama? Mommy, me love you, there's nothing I'd put above you. No house, nor no girl, nor no car. Stand firm in my life, nothing about you. From a barn, me and you are par. Mommy, I'm a princess. Mommy, I'm a dan. First lady in my life, a girl of you understand. Special dedication to the big woman. From your love,
It is inevitable that at some point in a person's life, one will experience grief from a loss due to the death of a loved one. According to the Gleaner Online, over 21,400 deaths were recorded in Jamaica in the year 2022. That represents 7.6 per 1,000 of the population.
Most employed people will experience bereavement grief at some point during their careers. Since separating one's personal life from work is difficult, most employees will carry their grief into the work environment. We will seek to highlight the impact of grief in the workplace and how organizations, through a compassion-based bereavement policy, can support their employees while still being productive.
I am Christina Harriman,
Tamisha Grisdale,
Shannon K. Webb, Kaylin Green,
Warren Waters,
and we are the members of Group 9.
There must be some succession plan in place because this really and truly can't be television at this time. Alright, so I'll have a meeting and then after you leave, I'll tell her, I'll definitely tell her ask you because you're not fit for work. It's unfair. There must be some, at least some empathy should be shown. So, just take it please and I'll ask someone to continue, okay? Thank you. Okay, Samantha, just a second please. I'm gonna ask you to do something for me, okay? You're aware of the situation. Yes, I am.
This morning, what is it?
I am.
So this is
I said we have a deadline to meet.
yeah,
I'm sure you're aware of the steps that you were supposed to do because you guys work together.
yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you to just continue to follow on what you did, but I'm gonna ask you to just forward an email before you leave so you can take on with changes, alright?
No problem.
Alright, so thank you very much, Sandra. I appreciate it. Hi, afternoon. Miss Veronica. Alright, so what's brought to my attention that this office, I actually asked him to leave because he's not in the right frame of mind to be completing a deadline. That is so important. So what I did, I asked Samantha to take over what I said to. And the policy is normally 3 days. However, I don't think, based on this condition, it's fit to be in office. And there must be some leniency and guarantee at that point. He told me that he actually called me. I'm surprised that you take it to me.
No, I did because guess what? Though we understand that he may have suffered a loss, the work must go on at the organization. There are deadlines that we have to meet and things that we need to get done, right? For productivity to continue taking place. Please remember though that we are guided by a policy. So he was not unfairly treated. He would have been allotted the number of days that is required or that provides for in terms of the bereavement policy. So he was not unfairly treated.
But Ms. Marsden, quite frankly, guided by the policy, but I think that policy needs to be revised. We need to at least act on initiative and act accordingly. I mean, he wasn't keeping the right frame of mind to be at tomorrow. Did you see his stance?
I did not. But remember, these policies are not drafted by myself. These come from HR.
And at the end of the day, Ms. Marsden, we'll have to revise that policy and we need to take it higher.
Well, the only thing I can do, because there's nothing I can stick to hand and do about the policy, we have to be guided by what is there already. So the only thing I can do in my position is to maybe ask that a meeting be convened with the manager so we can have this kind of discussion and for a review to take place.
Well,
But I cannot figure out how to do anything because I will have to give an explanation for Aaron's absence.
But you could have, though. You could have.
Yes,
and you're just acting, and I strongly believe that you're just being rigid. In terms of
I
being
don't
guided
think
by
I'm
policy.
being difficult. Listen,
And
you have to
policy.
remember, when you're in my position, when you're in the position of a manager, you can't just go ahead and give persons days off and stuff like that. You have to provide some form of explanation. And please remember also that the explanations must be based on the policies that are in place.
Alright.
So as I said, Ms. Helena, before you go any further, let me just reiterate in the event that you did not hear me earlier. I will ask that a meeting be convened so that at a management level we may table this, table the conversations, table the concerns that you're having, so that it can be discussed at that level for whatever changes to be made.
Alright, so
I
this is
cannot make these changes on my own.
So this is the case. We can't be guided by our emotions. We have to actually be logical in this situation.
Okay.
Mr. Walters lost his mom 3 days ago. Do you think that is the right approach to have him come in to complete a deadline? Look at that. There are other staff members put in place and there are succession plan for them to continue. What if something had happened to me? You're going to carry out to the hospital and tell him to come?
As
We have to look into that.
as I
And
said,
I have no issue in having a management meeting where we can discuss and review this plan because something needs to be done.
No
I know
problem.
it's a temporary staff,
yes.
but we can actually alter it. In some instances, this is a case where you lost his mom and they asked him to come in to complete a deadline. He could have, the deadline can very much have errors in it because of the situation. You didn't consider that.
Well, I take your point. I
You
take
didn't
your
consider
point.
that point.
Well, I didn't consider it at that time. But as I said, let us take it to the meeting and see what happens.
Alright, that's our problem. So we'll have the meeting. They can just send it in a calendar and I'll prepare the documents so we can have a discussion.
I'll do that.
Thank you very much. Lada, will you come in?
Alright, so good morning everyone.
Good morning.
And welcome to our impromptu managers meeting. So our company, ABC Marketing Company, we pride ourselves as a firm whose primary goal is to increase and support sales efforts by building brand awareness and growing market shares along with the company's reputation. We acknowledge, of course, as someone told me, I think earlier in the week, that our employees are our greatest asset
And as such, we commit to a mutually beneficial line of communication between organization and employee. We recognize, that's the reason why we're here, to discuss our bereavement policy. So we recognize that the policy needs some kind of revision to place greater emphasis on exercising connection and compassion for our employees who are dealing with loss. While the current policy has in fact served us well, there is always room for improvement to better support.
Not so much the employees. The organization must consider a more employee-focused policy which will result in long-term positive impact that helps both organization and employees. A compassion-focused approach is what is recommended. This method may provide a way to support grieving employees while positively impacting the organization. So we're going to look at some grief that can affect employees on a whole.
Some ways we can let us see.
So the first one that I think we can speak about is fungi brain.
Right, so I made some notes on fungi brain. So what I got from it is that sometimes fungi brain is referred to as grief brain, meaning persons or employees experience struggle. It's hard for us to concentrate on our tasks given, or energy maybe not up to par. This is a little bit low, so we're low on energy. It's hard for us to concentrate and to think about our tasks. So maybe what we can do in this situation is maybe assign some other persons to our how to help with this.
In terms of what, like sharing the person's work?
Right,
Like
sharing
sharing
one
work.
succession
Right.
where persons are able, but by right, no one person should be able to do one task.
Right.
That's true.
And succession plans needs to be in place.
Right, I believe,
Trying to sideline the group because I know that's why we're here. But it also speaks of camaraderie because you have some employees who will not want to do somebody else's work. So once we build that kind of rapport, and when I should say team building, so once we build that kind of rapport amongst us and we know that you are out for a particular reason or because of a particular reason or loss, in this case, then everybody will be willing to jump on board to say, okay then, what is our dealing with? We already have some knowledge on where this, you do that part, you do that part, you do that part, so we can get the job done.
I think it
Right?
should, it will also give person a sense of satisfaction.
True.
And for example, I know my supervisor and I know my supervisor's desk.
Right.
Set up an employment.
Exactly.
So this out and
They
hey.
can step up to the
And
plate.
they can step up.
Yeah, they can step up to the plate.
Right.
And this will put you in a better position to know because should your supervisor be promoted or moved somewhere else, it gives the somebody to see you, right? And we have the opportunity to say, okay, then around when I perform that level or know the task, so we can probably give him a try and put him up here.
It's a form of motivation for employees as well. Right? Because at least they can say no, and when they put I know this, I know that, so in the event that, and again, you must have a friend that you can say, hey, this is not going to be able to come into the with other friends saying that the friend or coworker saying, you know your task, what are you doing? What do you do? It shouldn't be them just knowing when you're asking. There should be some things.
And let me just get the information.
Right. What if the person don't decide to come back to work? Everything's up. I don't think that should be the case at all.
Okay, that's a good recommendation. I'm noting it because they say at the end of the day, as we mentioned, and this is like our mandate, our little tagline, our little mantra that we're working with. Our employees are our assets. And we have to do what is best for our employees so that they can produce most valuable assets.
Yes, it is.
Alright, so what are some other recommendations that we can make?
Well, I mean, according to things about fiber, there are other things
Right.
right? I mean, you're physically in the
Workspace.
of mental health care.
Yeah.
So, this is one of the things that we need to this can, really share job function and cause decrease in productivity. So that's
work life, but in the event that, something like that grief happen, they have to take that into consideration. That's true.
Because everyone can hold a point strong to say, listen, your personal life is your personal life, your work life is your life, you need to balance it. But yeah, it's all what I do that
So, we continue the conversation. Just imagine you have a headache at work, and a headache can be something that you can hardly focus. So just imagine losing someone dear to you.
Yeah.
That will hit your mental.
Yeah, it's gonna hit you hard. Of course, it will hit you hard. You understand? And we don't want errors. Errors affect productivity because at the end of the day, you come to work to meet a deadline. Yes, you meet the deadline, but what's the quality of work that you have provided? You understand? Can we stand up to scrutiny?
Right, so the truth is, information can't be relevant if it doesn't have the correct information and at the right time.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're going through a situation where you're grieving, it's a high possibility that you will not be able to meet the deadline, and the information that you've been put in is questioning. So it's not relevant.
Alright, so the current policy speaks to the number of days that is given now for time off. I think it's 3 days for persons who are temporary and 5 for persons who are permanent, right? So we can think about making some adjustments to that because of course we know that persons would need time off in order to make preparations. No, as to the number of days is what we need to discuss here.
I mean, the they would take somewhere between 3 to 4 weeks
To plan, right?
and we know we can't give people maybe time off. You can meet somewhere in the middle.
Right.
And
And a 10 for
temporary, 14 for permanent.
so maybe we can keep on doing in sections. So you give the first days so they can do their preliminaries and then
Yeah, when it comes up time to make that. That's a good idea. So, the choice is there. So if it is that you say, okay, then fine, we give you 14 days, you can choose how you want to work the 14 days.
So we can
You understand? So we can give you that option as well to make it flexible. Alright, some good points. But we need to table all of this because we have our coworker now, and this is not something we can predict in terms of that is not something we can predict. So we want to get the policy on paper as quickly as possible so persons can be guided and know exactly what is recommended or what is expected of them as employees. So what are some of the other recommendations that we can make? What can be changed? I know we spoke to the number of days that persons are allowed to be off. We spoke about the workload, about sharing the workload with other employees and stuff like that. And what are some of the other things that you think we can maybe review or put in place for the employees?
I think we also need to review the family member that is affected.
In terms of
Close relatives.
So I think the current policy has mother, father, child.
oh yes. Those are the persons that we actually
Right.
give the
What if you're close to your person? What if you're close to your aunt, your grandmother? So it doesn't, you can say it.
That's true. And not just that, we have to remember sometimes that the family structure may be different per person. So at the end of the day, what if my cousin do have maybe a mother or a sister to make the arrangements and I am the next person that is who are the
you're
closest person?
saying instead of naming the family member.
Or just limiting it, yeah. Once persons supply loss and it's something that is, that impact them and whatever, then they have access to that kind of leave.
Right.
You understand? So we don't want to limit it because, how do you measure loss? How you measure loss and how you measure how it will affect me versus how it affects you. You understand? So we in terms of the family member, because your cousin might affect you more than your mother, depending on the relationship.
That's what I want to say.
I know people who are friends, but they are closer than brother.
Right.
And you lose someone like that, you have to.
It will, exactly.
I already heard that family.
Sometimes your family members are estranged. They don't see them, they don't eat them, they just have a time.
They don't have a good
I
relationship.
think you have to, but the bottom of the people who you get along with.
It doesn't matter if your mother or your father is to say, brother, because you can choose something you get along better with your friends.
Yes, that's true. Friends are your family. That's true. Alright. So I guess we can look at adjusting that in terms of who we can actually include. So what it is that somebody applies for want of a better word, not apply, but would indicate that they would need time off based on a loss, then we can
there are instances where a person works up for degrees and they don't say anything because even though we're here at work, we don't know everything about it.
That's and it's personal, you know.
And that
It's
definitely,
really
and that
personal.
definitely will affect their psyche. So imagine you do not dare say anything. You're pretty much dazed out.
Yeah.
So are you really at work? So your body is saying, "Am I here?"
It goes back to being disengaged.
Right. So you're not really here. You're not really here. So that's not productive.
But guess what? Remember, you know, we are not professionals at the end of the day. So we are not professionals like grief professionals, you know.
So
you understand? So we may not know the right or the correct things to say to individuals, and then you don't want to just say something now and it probably trigger them or something. So we can probably think about having counselors, you know, so we have that option available to them. And actually have a program for it, so maybe not just one, but maybe have more than one person that work together and probably establish some kind of committee or something like that. You understand? So we know that those persons' main function is to provide support to an individual. You understand? So it's not just to say, oh, you know, a one-off thing or whatever, because remember, grief, we can't count up the days for grief, you know. So we can't say, okay, then somebody when starts and start within 2 weeks.
Right.
Sometimes people take years to get over these kind of things, you know. You know, from personal experience, yeah, sometimes it takes a while. So at least if you have that kind of facility in place, right, then they can always, they know that they have that option, I have that committee or that body to can approach.
So they feel
right.
supported,
Exactly.
unsupported.
And they can open up.
Right.
You understand? So they can open up to the person because they are professional trained in the field to know how to, you know, what to say, how to get around to have persons to open up to them, to confide in them, you know, to express themselves, because I've been told that, you know, talking about grief helps.
Yeah, there are some pointers, really and truly, I think it's something good that this is a good limit, but
Yes, I think it is.
we need to not only think about ourselves, think about our co-workers. We need to be our brothers keeper. It could happen to anybody, we don't know. It is unexpected and everybody at some point happens to it. So it's best for us to actually be supportive in that time. They don't need, as my grandma would say, seek a friend before you need a friend.
So just quickly, so we all on the same page, some of the points I would have mentioned in terms of recommendations to increase the number of days, to share the workload of the person who remaining staff until, you know, upon their return to work, to probably take time to integrate them, so you don't leave them at the workload all at once. There's a counseling program going, so we have to have that facility, and also to extend the person that we include, that we, in terms of the group that we give bereavement leave for. So some of those are the points that we will look at. Well, you know, really and truly, improved bereavement policy demonstrates our commitment, right, to the well-being of our employees, and it reinforces our identity as a compassionate organization, right? These changes will not only benefit staff, but the organization on a whole, contributing to more supportive and more supportive work environment, and in the long run, higher levels of productivity and success. Alright, so thank you guys so much for joining, you know, for us, you know, today, for joining me today. And yeah, let's get this in place for the betterment of our company.
Okay.
Alright.
Thanks again, everyone, for your
Yes,
time.
take care.
Have a wonderful day.
Where would I be, Lord? Where would I be? Where would I be without my mama? Mommy, me love you, there's nothing I'd put above you. No house, nor no girl, nor no car. Stand firm in my life, nothing about you. From a barn, me and you are par. Mommy, I'm a princess. Mommy, I'm a dance. First lady in my life, a girl of you understand. Special dedication to the